What is good? What is good? What is Gucci? Courtney IG, and I'm back again. And this time, I'm here to talk about On Purpose with Purpose from Ghetts, guys. But before I even contemplate going there, you know I like to set the scene. You know I like to set the temperature. So let's go back a little bit. So in 2021, Ghetts blessed us with Conflict of Interest, an album which I feel like in recent times was one that sits right in amongst his peers. So if we look at the Dave and the Sims of this world, who also dropped in and around that 2019, 2020, 2021 phase where we were like in COVID lockdown, I feel like Ghetts' album stood up right next to that one. I think at that time I gave it a 9 out of 10 or something like that, because it was really a moving, reflective, dense project with songs like Little Bo Peep, Proud Family, alongside some others like No Mercy, Icy Free, Hop Out, which is a bit more hype, a bit more energetic. I really think since his 2007 project, Ghetto Gospel, which was touted as a mixtape, labeled as a mixtape, I feel like that was really the one that I really looked to and said, rah, like, now this is a really coming of age project, which shows a lot of maturity, it shows a lot of uncompromising confidence, and someone who has been in the game for actually pretty much 2 decades, correct me if I'm wrong, people. So now here with On Purpose with Purpose, I expect more of the same, given it has been 3 years since his last album. There's a lot for him to talk about. I again expect that level of density, but it's a whole different space. So it's got to be coming at a different angle. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the intro sets a reflective tone. There's some faint vocals, which kind of bring us into the intro before he gets really raw and introspective. The vocals are then looped, that the vocals which are in there in the intro. He addresses his absence from the scene, the sacrifices that he's had to make to elevate his surroundings. We get themes of like loyalty, fatherhood, fractured friendships, all bound together with how his daughters have reshaped his perspective on life. I really feel like this is an emotional mission statement almost, like, and he brings us full circle back to Proud Family again on this one, you know, and his grandmother's passing. He mentions her quite a lot in this, which is, you know, really powerful. We come out of that powerful intro into the Majestic, Mount Rushmore, which he's Ghetts next to Wretch and Kano, 3 of the best spitters globally, not just in the UK, worldwide. It's a lyrical masterclass, guys. Martin Luther King's sample at the start really bleeds through the whole of the track. And it really takes us into their own personal reflections. They all come at it at different angles. Like there's an insight into upbringing and ambition from Ghetts. There's grief and legacy from Kano. There's sacrifice and religion from Wretch. But it's all coming together. So it's not like one person's just doing that, one person, it's all together. But those are kind of, if I was to pull apart the themes of the lyrics, that would be how I would have pulled it apart at high level, because these are top level lyricists. You can't just, you gotta dive in if you really want to go into the depths of what they're on about. So it all comes together masterfully. It's like, it's come up and evolution all intertwined. Sampha really smooths it out for us a bit with the hook on Double Standards, which, much like Bashi's How Black Men Lose Their Smile, dives headfirst into highlighting systematic injustices and contradictions in the system. You know, Ghetts brings up some powerful examples with Ukraine, Palestine, the monkey jokes against the football players like Sterling and so on, and how we don't, as black people, I'm just going to put it that way, don't cherish our homeland. We don't cherish where we come from, the Ghanas, the Jamaicas, and we just go there. We don't really cherish it. Yeah, and it's really unapologetic in the lyricism. It really drives home the potently a message to us, guys. And the outro of that song really has that feel of self-empowerment. Like yeah, it just moves me, that song, a lot. Like, and Anakin, guys, Red Saber, really gets gritty as it takes the vocal snippet from the outro of Double Standards on owning the field and builds on that, and it brings out just a lot of energy. It brings out this, yeah, he says, like, we inherited postcode wars, but we should be beefing corporates. We inherited postcode wars, but we should be beefing corporates. That really shows you a mind state shift, you know what I mean? That's what I'm getting from that. Like, it's like we as a community have our focuses in completely the wrong place. That's what I feel from Anakin. Like, attention is in the wrong place. And even the chorus of the song really drives home a message as well. Like, mum made her weekly salary stretch, and I got a bank full of reality checks, something along those lines. And it's like it's like duality. Basically, the resilience of his mum has led to where he is now in terms of his mindset. He has been grounded in that reality, so that he's learned so much from that in his life that he can just, you know, rise up today. That's basically the feel of that. Those experiences have led to him being the person that he is today. That grounding has led to that. We stay in that dark production lane with a trio of tracks: Laps, Stylish Nigga, Blood on My Hands, featuring Unknown T, which really showcased the various sides of Ghetts as an artist. You get Ghetts, you get Jay Clark, and you get Ghetto. A lot of people don't know that there are those three personas, because Ghetts is really an artist. Let's put it that way. He's really an artist, and that shows up here. And in Blood on My Hands, I like how he brings in the Macbeth references. It gives us that sense of elegance. It gives us that intellectual depth. And that's contrasted against savage wordplay. It's savage. It's vivid. It sticks in your head. Laps, the flows are ridiculously good. You know, I didn't really get the chorus at first. It didn't really catch me. But when I kept hearing it run up the steps like Rocky Balboa, it started to get infectious. It started to be... And when you couple that with the punchlines from Ghetts, which are just... It's a different echelon, let's be honest. It's giving me the same feel of it ain't safe on the block. Even for the cops, it gives me that same infectious feel. And like, it would have... These trio of songs would have fit really good in Supercell, because I don't think any of them are actually in there, but they're just ride out songs, like straight up ride out songs. And Jay Clark comes back in a provocative, raw way on Twin Sisters, which I thought Twin Sisters was going to be like a lovey-dovey kind of track. I thought it was just going to be, all right, I could get this one, I get it, Twin Sisters, two gal, all right, Ghetts and Scraps are going to go back. But actually, that was just a metaphor. That was just to catch you, to make you feel like it was surface level, gonna just be about Twin Sisters. But actually, he's using the idea and the concept of Twin Sisters to do as a bit of a bait and switch. So Ghetts' verse is so layered. He's describing being passionate with this woman to illustrate how he's navigated life, how he's got his confidence in his ability to go over trials. So it's really deep, and it's made even clearer with the verse from Scraps. You know, there's tension between loyalty, betrayal in the streets, and then females. So there is the female aspect, but that isn't everything. It's females, but illustrated in a way to kind of give you the picture of something more broader than that. And mine is a straight up R&B, trap R&B banger. Like, it is flawless. It's probably for me the most flawless track on the album so far. The chemistry between Ghetts and Shaka is crazy. It's a push-pull dynamic of a relationship. And where they want to go. Like there's the sense of control, and then there's a sense of wanting emotional distance. So it's control, distance, control, distance. And guys, Ghetts here again is on another level with the wordplay. You know, he goes into the heartbroken teacup of T2. If you don't know heartbroken T2, that's clearly what he's saying here. If you don't know that, you're too young. Go back and do some research. But for the real ones that know, it's about, he's saying that you've been around, like the real ones. That's for the real ones that have been through it from the early days. And that's why I just rate that Mind song. The vibe is vibrant, it's flawless, and great chemistry throughout between the two of them. Hallelujah is just taking us right into the Garrison, straight into the Garrison as well. Like how Ghetts could have ended up in Jamaica, you know. His grandmother again comes through here, him just giving praise and worship, and it just feels like, you know, he opens up by saying, Lord, have mercy on my soul. Like they try to pin a 30 on my bro. Like, Lord, have mercy on my soul. They try to pin a 30 on my bro. Like that is just heavy tone of survival. That's a heavy tone of just like trying to rise up and trying to be courageous and victorious and triumphant. That's what you get from Ghetts and Dexter Daps here. It is really just resilience blending in with trauma and triumph. And I love that tune. I love that because I haven't really heard Ghetts collaborate with any dancehall Jamaican artists. I feel like, I could be wrong, correct me, but I think this is probably the first one, and it was great. It was amazing. We get into our Afrobeats realm with I think it's Gebidu. I can't pronounce it. Forgive me, guys. Blessings and Tumbi, which is really showcases the growth of Ghetts. Like I would have never thought he has done vibes like this, but he's really like Blessings, which to me is the best one for me, but I need to go back. Stands out. It really, like, he feels comfortable. It doesn't even feel out of place. Like I'm vibing to that. I'm liking it. It's growth. Like, yeah, I'm liking the different flows, the different experimentation here. As we begin to get to a closure, guys, we get deep. We get deep with street politics. We go a few BPMs down, and we get the raw, brutal reality of living in a violent environment, the internal conflict, looking over your shoulder, even in the cinema with your girl. Is very, how he does his projection in terms of his lyrics here on street politics really is just shows you why he can be an actor, why he did that Supercell role so well. Street politics is a great example of that. He tells the story of life and death, destructive choices, how pride can lead to destruction, literally on your deathbed, from, you know, an outcome that is not positive. Like, he takes you through college right to the deathbed, and it's like powerful. Takes the author as well. Yell up him on that. Jonah's Safety is, one of the deepest songs on this album, guys. You know, mother, postnatal depression, mental struggles, isolation, traumas. You know, there's so much depth, and Pip Millett really sings her heart out on this one. Like, really extremely moving, and it really takes you somewhere else. Like, and on that, I'm gonna wrap up. I'm not gonna let you know my thoughts on the outro. You can go and tap into that yourself. So I really feel like, in conclusion, guys, I feel like Ghetts really demonstrated growth and evolution on this project, this body of work. Like, there's so many different genres of sound. I didn't miss the grime element. I didn't need it, actually, because I feel like now I don't just associate Ghetts with grime. I associate some other artists primarily with grime. Now I look at Ghetts as an artist, as a rapper, as an actor, as like multifaceted now. He's showing me that. I haven't seen this level of comfortability on all of these different genres in any of his projects previously. So I say that this is his best body of work, clearly. So he's much more confident. It's just balanced. There's more vibes on this in comparison to the last body of work, his last album 3 years ago, which was needed and necessary, I know, But I feel like this one, if you're a more casual listener and you want to get Ghetts in different forms, you want to get the depth, you want to get the lyricism, but you want to get some vibes as well for a motive or whatever, you get it here. You get all of that here. There's different segments and vibes for that. I feel like the Afrobeats for me was a bit too much for me in that little segment, but that's just my preference, right? Somebody else might like that more. I'm always of the opinion when I start to notice a pattern of a sound or a pattern of production, I kind of want, if there's quite a few of that, don't give me so many, just give me the best one. And I feel like Blessings was the best one, for example. And like the same with the Unknown T trio of tracks with like Lancey. I feel like, you know, Laps was the best one there in that flow pattern of songs. I didn't really like the Lancey one. So yeah, it was a step in a slightly different direction to his last album, but a good direction. It wasn't like a step down, or it was a step up, I think, in terms of a well-rounded body of work. I really liked the album. It was still emotive. It still had real stories in there. It still had relatability in there. And yeah, really liked the album. Top 3 from me, guys. Twin Sisters, Mine, and Hallelujah. If I said 9 out of 10 last time, we're going 9.2 this time. This and Bashi, so far, UK, talking. You know what to do, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, inspire, and rich, yeah.